Is that fact or fiction? Is that fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? What do you think? Fact or fiction? Fact or fiction? It says you inhale most of your oxygen through one nostril at a time. Every few hours, the other nostril takes over. Yeah, that's what it says. That's what it says. So I guess that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I guess that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Number 2. Your brain uses around 40% of your body's blood and oxygen. Your brain uses about 40% of your body's blood and oxygen. About 40%. What do you think? Is that fact or fiction? Is that fact or fiction? Do you think that's a fact or fiction? What do you think is fact or fiction? It's fiction. Your brain uses about 20%. Your brain uses about 20%. Number 3. Giraffes International Space Station tested out a space oven that will allow those aboard to bake cookies. Yep, they can bake cookies. They can bake cookies. They can bake cookies. Yeah, they can bake cookies. 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 Yeah, apparently they can bake cookies. Okay, let's try another one. Number 12. Number 12. Number 12. Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap was originally intended to be wallpaper. Bubble wrap was originally intended to be wallpaper. Bubble wrap was initially intended to be wallpaper. Was bubble wrap? Was it initially intended to be wallpaper? Was it intended? What do you think? Yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact. It was invented in 1957, and they initially tried to sell it as wallpaper. They initially tried to sell it as wallpaper. Yeah, that's what they intended. Let's try another one. Number 13. 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 Number 13 says a growlerly. A growlerly. Growlerly is a place that you can go to when you're cranky. A growlerly is a place you can go to when you're cranky. Growlerly. A growlerly. A growlerly is a place where you can go to be alone when you're cranky. A growlerly is a place where you can go when you're to be alone when you're cranky. To be alone when you're cranky. To be alone when you're cranky. What do you think? Fact or fiction? Is that a fact or fiction? You got it. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, why would it not be? 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 Of course, a growlerly. Of course, a growlerly wouldn't be a place where you could go when you're cranky. Be alone. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Let's try another one. Number 14. 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 If you add the two numbers on opposite sides of the dice together, the answer is always 8. If you add up the two numbers on the opposite sides of dice together, the answer is always 8. Is it always 8? Is it always 8? Is it always 8? Is it always 8? What do you think? Is it always 8? Nope, that's fiction. Nope. That's fiction. It's always 7. It's always 7. The answer is always 7 if you add them up. It's always 7. Let's try another one. Okay, number 14. Number 15. Number 15. Number 15. Number 15. Number 15. Number 15. Number 15 says nearly 6% of the ice in Antarctica. Nearly 6% of the ice in Antarctic glaciers is penguin urine. You think that 6% of the ice in Antarctic glaciers is penguin urine? What do you think? Is that a fact or fiction? 6%. Do you think 6% of that ice is penguin urine? Fact or fiction? What do you think? Is that a fact or fiction? What do you think? Is that a fact or fiction? What do you think? 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 Yeah, it's fiction. It is nearly 3% though. Yeah, nearly 3% of that ice is penguin urine. Penguin urine. 3%. That's crazy. Let's try another one. Number 16. A snail can sleep for 3 months. Is that a fact or fiction? A snail can sleep for 3 months. Is that a fact or fiction? Does it snow in the Sahara Desert? It snows in the Sahara. It snows in the Sahara Desert. Is that a fact or fiction? It snows. It snows in the Sahara Desert. Is that a fact or fiction? What do you think? 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 Is that a fact or fiction? Is that a fact? Is that a fact or is that fiction? Is that a fact? Is that a fact? Is it a fact? What do you think? Is it? Is it a fact? Yep, it is a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact. It is 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 a fact. Well, I hope you enjoyed playing Fact or Fiction. I hope you did good, and thanks for coming to hang out with me today. Have a great day. Stay safe.